when somebody lets you into their life, you don't know how they're going to respond. And there's a lot of difficult moments and wonderful moments on screen. But we knew we were on the right track when Angelo was laughing his ass off and like falling off the couch. And Norwood was doing some chuckling. We're like, okay, they're enjoying this trip down memory lane.
I had a question for them.
Sure.
We are African American people who loved your music. Love you! Tried to tell everybody else on it. We didn't know what we were talking about. Thought we were crazy. But what influenced you guys? Because you have such an eclectic sound, your political views. What influenced you, and if you want to share politically and musically, meaning the artist or...
You know, from my perspective, I just think that life in the beginning, life in the valley was one of the things, because it was an extreme contrast from when I stepped out of my house, which was black on the inside. When I stepped outside, it was white. So that was one big influence, you know. And just life and living in Los Angeles, everything that goes with it. We write from life experiences, you know, social and even the government back in them days. I can't say too much about it now because it's pretty damn ridiculous, but you know, that's what the perspective we were writing from.
Well, ultimately, you know, we were, you know, being born in the '60s and actually becoming aware late '60s, early '70s. It's a whole lot of awesome culture that we were able to be impacted by, you know, like Muhammad Ali and Richard Pryor and
Mom's Maybelline,
Sly Stone, Sly and the Family Stone, Parliament Funkadelic, you know,
Philip Wilson,
yeah.
Dolomite.
The midnight special, Don Kirshner's rock concert.
Right.
You know.
What about Jackson 5? That guy?
Well,
Jackson
yeah,
5,
Jackson
definitely.
5. You know,
I
every
went to the
little
same
kid.
Kingdom Hall he went to.
Every little kid goes through a Jackson 5 phase. You know, and then you know, Saturday Night Live, National Lampoon magazine.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Char puppet stuff and the Looney Tunes.
You know, so it's a lot. And then by the time we became really got into our teen years, you know, 1977, something called punk rock kind of was emerging. And so, you know, after you got Jimi Hendrix, Sly and the Family Stone, Funkadelic, and then, you know, because that kind of leaves you kind of wide open musically, punk rock, you know, comes along, and you know, we were open. We were musicians, and we were looking for those things. Devo kind of flipped us out a little bit.
Yeah, man.
My kids grew up watching Back to the Beach. How the hell did you get hooked up with that movie? I love that movie.
Can't even remember who did it, man.
Back to the Beach.
Yeah, no,
What's up with that?
No, you know what?
I love that movie. My kids grew up on it.
It was actually, somebody understood that Annette Funicello was actually brought us Annette Funicello did a cover of a Skylight song in the '60s and actually brought ska music into introduced America to ska music, and is forever connected to surf culture because Jamaica ska. She did it, you know, and so Fishbone being a band that was actually now credited with, you know, the current ska from the '80s till now.
Right.
Somebody connected those dots, dude. You know, it was an honor when I think about it, you know, and that was amazing.
My kids love it.
You and Honey.
So what's happening now since you made this film? What's the next?
What's happening now? This dude in the front row throwing up in the beer can. man. Give me some of your drum, motherfucker. Woo! That's what I like. That's some contrast right there. That's everyday sunshine. Everyday moonshine. Yeah. Right.
How did you guys edit the music out and decide with so much music to choose from? How did you decide what songs were in and what songs were out? Which performances? I mean, how?
A lot of it just had to do with the content. Like, what were we talking about? Like, Riot is a perfect song for the riots, and just a lot of and also when the albums come out. So it's like, using the right songs that are for the right tone for the scene. So.
And do you think you got enough in there as far as?
Well, there's never enough in there. I mean, and that was part of the problem. Is do we make a movie for the fans that want to hear the music, or do we make a movie for that don't know about Fishbone and that can bowl them in? So it was like the balance of how much music and how much story, and we wanted to tease a little bit of music, but not enough because there's so much to say that the story is just a huge story to go through. So it was a balancing act, basically.
Beautifully done. Bravo to you guys. Beautifully
Yeah.
done. Bravo.
We have to give a special props to Jeff, our editor and DP, because he went literally through hundreds of hours of footage to kind of stream it down to the 100 minutes that you see there. Gentleman over there.
Yeah, so I'm wondering about your distribution with Columbia, because I've looked for a lot of records by you guys. I have a few of the old records, but I can't find shit. Like, the last record you guys put out, Give a Monkey a Brain, I can't find that on vinyl. Like,
But it wasn't the last one because after that was the Psychotic Friends Nutworks, Chin Chin's Badass Revenge, and then there's
I have that.
Still Stuck in Your Throat.
Yeah.
Maybe Sony may have discontinued some of that shit too. It's,
Like, you go to Amoeba, I can't find, like, I can
I know it's raggedy, man. I don't even pay attention no more.
Our management appeals to those people constantly to release those things because
like re-release it.
re-release them, re-release
There's a
them.
lot of
And
180-gram shit on vinyl re-release, and I'm not seeing Fishbone shit.
thank you, and the more support and the more people go see this movie, and it's going to be on PBS in a week and a half or so, the 14th to premiere.
17th. San Francisco on February 21st.
Okay.
But we want you guys to get your asses back here and see the movie for the rest of the week at the Roxie. So.
But the more impact this movie has, we got a new CD out called Crazy Glue. And just the more noise, the more that we make noise, the more that they will be moved to see that there's a possibility of a profit. That's all I can say.
Man, it's like there has to be a demand for it.
Right.
They have to see that
They have to see the demand. You know what I'm saying? If it's a big enough uproar about it, then
Well, it's a touching product, man.
they might make a way to put it back out. Like the occupancy. Fishbone occupancy.
Occupy Fishbone.
We probably have time for like 2 more questions, but let me also give a heads up in the sense that the band has this new album, Crazy Glue out. You can get it on iTunes, you can get it on Amoeba. It's like $7.99. It's like dirt cheap, but really great music, so go pick it up. The other thing is, it's interesting you ask what's happened since the making of the film. The songs they were writing at the end of the film are on the new album. They're in the studio working on a new album. Dirty Walt came into the studio to help record some of the instrumental tracks that you hear in the film, and he's rejoined the band. So if you go see Fishbone, I think Fishbone's going to hit San Francisco, play at Yoshi's in March. So kind of be on the lookout for that and join the mosh pit. So 2 more questions. Who are the lucky ones?
What if you went on with Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
So this happens to be the 25th anniversary of the band's first EP release, which means that they're eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We have these postcards you can download from our website, fishbonedocumentary.com. Send them to the nominating committee, and hopefully these guys will get where they need to deserve. So. worried about that you've had your hand for a little while. Okay, so,
The other two.
Hey, I grew up in Sherman Oaks in the 80s. I just want to thank you guys for the countless times I saw you in the pit. And you're one of the most underrated bands of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, from underrated to overrated, especially with this movie, it's gonna be great. I love it.
Fuck underrated the
At
best.
the beginning of the movie, there's someone who was making a joke about how they thought that someday Kendall would just wake up again and be himself. Was it like that when you saw him, or was it just refreshing to be able to speak to him again?
Well, I thought Kendall was slipping into darkness at one point myself.